Well, good day everyone, and thanks for stopping by my channel. I've had a couple of questions recently from viewers watching my other travel videos about my Jayco Jpod Outback caravan. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to show around the van itself, inside and outside, show you some of the modifications I've made, highlight some of the what I think are good points and bad points, and why it currently suits my setup for what I'm trying to achieve at the moment. So hopefully it might make your decision on whether this would suit you or not easier. I'm out here at Greenup Meeting Place out near Inglewood in southern Queensland. It's about 3 hours west of the Gold Coast, and it looks like it's going to be a nice sunset anyway. So anyway, this is a 2021 Jpod Outback. This is the model with the fixed flat solar panel on the front. I think it's 160 watts, and that feeds into the battery under the bed, which is, I've got a 120 amp hour AGM battery in there with a battery management system by BM Pro. Quite a big storage box at the front here with it's got the big gas bottle in it as well. I've put this pole storage tube in here. I've mounted that myself and made it up, and I've also got at the front here a 20 litre jerry can of water as well. So the kitchen, it's got a 2-burner Dometic cooker on it in here, as well as a sink. Now these glass covers really useless as a windbreak, so I've got this galvanized metal foldable windbreak from Anaconda, I think it was, and at least you can cook something on the stove when there's any sort of a breeze or wind, because it was just impossible before without that. I think you can also get a product from Kaon, which is the ring wind protectors that just sit around the burners. I think they're pretty good as well. It's a pretty neat little kitchen setup anyway. It suits me. Two 12-volt outlets. This one at the moment is running my water pump for the shower around the other side, and a 240-volt power outlet there if you are connected to 240-volt power. I was just thinking before, I've never actually stayed in a caravan park. In the 2 years I've had the van, I've never actually had it connected to power except at home. So all my camping, all the things I've done have been off-grid, if you like. So I've got the Dutch 180 Eclipse awning. I bought this when I first bought the van a couple of years ago. When I bought the van, the previous owner had taken his awning off of it to use on his car, so it didn't have anything on here. So I decided on the 180 instead of the 270. For me, this works out great. Got full coverage over the kitchen, and there is a gap here between the annex and the awning itself. It doesn't, like the 270 would cover that whole gap, but for me it hasn't been a problem. I've never had water in the annex yet anyway. So the annex itself is very handy. I only ever put it up if I'm going to be somewhere for a couple of days or more. I don't put it up if I'm only an overnight stop, because it's quite challenging to get up. It takes me about half an hour realistically to get it up on your own. It's quite difficult, especially if there's any sort of wind. It just makes it even harder still. I'm just going to briefly interrupt the video here for a minute, just to give a quick shout out to the Jayco Jpod Owners Australia Facebook group. This Facebook group has got so much information and knowledge about all things to do with Jpods. They provide all this information on modifications and tips and tricks and experiences, and just info in general on Jpods. It really is an amazing group, and well done to the moderators and administrators and the members themselves for presenting everything in such a friendly and supportive way. It's just fantastic. I'll come around the other side of the caravan here, and I've got a kick-ass shower tent. I normally access it just from this door out of the annex here. It's pretty easy, really easy to set up and pack up. It's pretty straightforward. I've got a Jayco hot water tap there. That's the outlet for it with the switch on it there. And this is the Jayco hot tap system that I've got as well. So I found this to be really good. It's instantaneous hot water. It's just amazing how quickly it goes from your cold water supply there out of that jerry can through the pump, through the heater, and up there in a matter of seconds you've got hot water coming out pretty much straight away. So, and you turn it on and off just by turning the switch on and off here. It's a great system, really reliable, and I think it's probably the best thing I've bought. It's amazing you can be out in the middle of nowhere at the outback and you're filthy dirty, you had a long hot day, and it's still nice to have a nice hot shower at the end of the day, so it's great. And it packs away, and I put it away in this little compartment here on this side of the van. Now I have added on as well this Arc 500 ratchet jockey wheel. It's a swing up one. It's really good for me. This van at home sits around the backyard, and I have to manoeuvre it to turn it around and all that. It was just impossible with the old original jockey wheel. So this has been really helpful. It's got a little ratchet thing here, so you can use your ratchet lever to move it backwards and forwards and turn it with it and that as well. So it's so much easier than the old one, and this wind up mechanism is so much better than the original one as well. So really worthwhile investment for me as well, given I have to swing the caravan around in the backyard at home. And I've got this McHitch adapter on the trig block here. That just makes it so much easier, again, when you're on your own, to drop this onto your tow bar, onto your tow ball or pin, rather than the original polyblock fitting, which was a bit of a challenge to get on. So all in all, that's been a pretty good investment as well. And just on the solar blanket as well, it's plugged into the car battery at the moment, but I got the ability to plug it in to support the solar panel that's currently on the van here. So my particular one here, it has to be a regulated input. So I've got an MPPT controller on the blanket. It's a little separate unit in the bag over there, and it plugs into here. But there's been a little bit of confusion on some of the forums I've read that some 2021 models, it's got to be a unregulated panel, but on this particular one, this input here goes directly to the battery, so it's got to be a regulated solar panel. Right, so moving inside the annex now, as you can see, there's a fair bit of space in here. It's roughly about 2 metres by 2 metres square, and there's plenty of room to stand up, get changed and that. I normally, when I'm got the annex up and I'm staying somewhere for a few days, I unload everything out from under the bed and store it here in the annex. So that's my cooking equipment and food, the toilet, which sits in the back of the ute normally, and my astrophotography gear as well. But there's plenty of room in here. So on the back here is the Extend Outdoors fly screen. It's the rear screen. It's canvas around the outside and the canvas flap that just rolls down, and a fly screen here in the middle section. And that's really useful if you're just staying somewhere for a night. I literally just put the door up, as it is now, and that screen there becomes your entry and exit point, just like that. And it's really good for letting the breeze through and stuff. It's really well made as well. And when it's shipped from Extend, it comes with Velcro, adhesive Velcro to hold it up. And by all accounts, with a bit of heat and over time, the Velcro adhesive gives way and it drops down or falls off or whatever. So what I've done is I've got some aluminium bar and screwed the whole lot up with some stainless steel screws, and yeah, it hasn't moved at all. Just look inside the pod itself now. This is the Sphere fridge that came with the pod. I've got another fridge similar size in the back of the car, on the back seat of the car. There's plenty of storage, plenty of little split storage shelves and stuff, and some drawers here, some little alcove bits and pieces. It's quite bed's quite comfortable. I've got a mattress topper on it, and it's pretty comfortable for me anyway. And the Scirocco fan there is pretty good for keeping you cool at night. Plenty of ventilation. The vent here and the two windows open up with fly screens on them as well, so it's all pretty good. There is two reading lights at the far end of the bed there, and each of them have got USB outlets on them. But I put another one in. I put a little extra one in down here, so it was more accessible for this end of the caravan. Right, so that's in under the bed. There's plenty of storage space for everything that I've got out in the annex at the moment. Fits in under here. And there's a battery management system there, the BM Pro, and a AGM battery as well. I've upgraded that to 125 amp AGM, just to give me a bit of extra storage capacity for the battery. Now, the bed won't stay up on its own. This is sort of a bit of a problem with this model Jpod. The bed will stay up on its own on these struts when it's just the mattress, but then you put a doona on and some pillows and a few other bits and pieces, and the struts don't hold the bed up. So there's a few different ways people have gone around fixing it. Putting stronger struts in is one option. Adjusting the mounting points for the struts as well is another option. But I've gone with the easiest and cheapest one, is just having this bit of dowel cut to size and a chair protector cup screwed to the bottom of the bed. And I just lift the bed and prop it up with this dowel, and it seems to do the job for me anyway. There's another little modification I've done here on the back door. I found it really hard to close the back door on really cold nights in winter, and you want to sleep with the back door closed. It's really hard to be inside the van and to try and close it using this handle. So I've just got a strap. I have to strap around there, and it just makes it that much bit easier to close the door when you're inside the van using a strap. Anyway, handy tip. So this kind of caravan may not be for everyone, I have to say. For me, it's perfect. I really like it. Not so much of an issue for me not being able to stand up in the van itself. I spend most of the time I'm travelling outdoors anyway. It has got lots of storage space, so for me, with all my astrophotography equipment and all that, it's great having all that storage under the bed. Just one thing on weights as well. It's a very small van. It only comes in at about 920 kilograms tear. But in my normal, I had it weighed about 6 months ago now, and in my normal travel setup, which is what I had it weighed at, I was about 25 kilograms under the weight for the caravan weight itself fully loaded, and so it's 1225. I think I came in at 1201 or something like that, so it's very close to the mark. And the other thing to note as well on weights is the table weight. The empty or the tear table weight of this van is something like about 110 kilograms, but when I had mine weighed fully loaded with that big jockey wheel on the front and the water tanks full, it was 210 kilograms table weight, which is quite high. It's still under my car. It's got a 310 kilogram table limit, but for some of those smaller cars, if you're considering towing with a smaller SUV or something like that, it's just something to consider, that not only the weight you can carry, but the table weight of the car as well. Well, thanks so much for watching this video, and I certainly hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Perhaps even watch some of my earlier travel videos so you can see where this van has been to. It has been to some pretty amazing places.